Today we're going to be looking at the gear that I carry when I'm in the woods, when I'm camping in the woods, when I'm just taking a walk in the woods, and most importantly, when I'm teaching people how to survive in the woods. That's it. That's my gear. If you have been following me, you know I love gear and you know I love to change it up every season. This year, no different. Now, my reasoning for the setup of this gear specifically has been really twofold. I wanted something that I can just keep in my van, and when I jump out, I'm gonna shoot YouTube videos or go out for the day, I have all the equipment that I need to get the job done. Secondly, because I run a survival bushcraft wilderness living skills school, I thought it's very important for me to have gear to show the students that, hey, you don't have to carry a huge hiking backpack if you are a bushcrafter or you're just going on a day hike to do things, and still have that safety net around you to get anything you need in the woods done. All right, so enough of me doing this. Let's dig into the gear. Okay, now for pack itself, I stuck with my Filson pack. I like the way this thing rides on my back. I like the size of it. And for just moving around during the day, it is absolutely perfect. All the pockets inside fit my gear exactly where I want it. So I'm gonna stick with this thing. Plus, it looks awesome the more beat up it gets. But one of the biggest downfalls here in Pennsylvania is we go from these day packs that are really nice just for utilizing during the day, to we're gonna go out camping for a while and we have nowhere to put our heavier sleeping bags or wool blankets or heavier tarps, and then all of a sudden we have to take everything out of this bag and put it in something else. But what I decided with this kit was I didn't want to do that this time. So what I did was I came up with something called a hang bag. I have that underneath. This hang bag itself, this carries my sleep system and a couple extra accoutrements that I might need if I'm staying out longer term in the woods. It's made of oilcloth that has built-in rings, so I can really quickly attach it or detach it from my bag. So if I'm gonna go camping, I just put this thing onto the straps of my backpack and I am off. And if I'm gonna just be out during the day, I just take it off of my backpack and I have my pack itself. And just like that, it is detached, and this is gonna be the first component we're gonna go over. Now, I did make this bag, so you're not gonna be able to run out and find one of these, but we might sell them sooner than later on Coalcracker Bushcraft. Inside this bag is, for me, just sleeping equipment as of right now. I have my heavy wool socks, and I've been playing around a lot with this Summit Series sleeping bag from Outdoor Vitals. This is a 0-degree bag, so it fits any need that I have right now this time of the year. And then I have my nifty pillow stuck down on the inside of this pack. It's gonna make my night that much more comfortable. And you can see there's a ton of room left in here, even with everything that I have stacked in there. If you want to put an extra set of clothes, some extra food, anything you're gonna need for that overnight trip is gonna fit in here perfectly. Now on to the gear inside the backpack. Jammed down the back side of my backpack is my gum blanket. Now, a gum blanket, if you don't know what that is vulcanized rubber on one side, canvas on the other. What's really nice about carrying this gum blanket for me is that it's super versatile. If I would get in a situation that I only have my day pack along with me, I always have now something that I can put between me and the ground. So if it's snowy or wet or rainy, I have something to block the moisture between me and the ground. That also works great because I can pull it out and sit on it in wet conditions. Or if I'm teaching, I can open this thing up, kneel on it, and then I'm not soaking wet. I'm not down in the mud doing things. I have a nice dry environment always along with me. Next is my actual tarp. Now, I can't go into too much detail with this thing, but you can see it's nice and small. I don't even want to show it much further because I'm going to do a video on that in the future. That is our new Coalcracker emergency shelter system. Literally, that's how small it is. It's that small, and you can pack that away. And have that with you all the time. You don't have to ever worry about carrying any kind of big, bulky equipment anymore. This whole thing, our emergency shelter, everything is right there that you're gonna need. And then finally, this almost makes me cringe, but I do like it. I'm like on the fence with it, is this godforsaken thing. It's big, it's bulky, it takes up so much room, it just doesn't fit with what everything else is happening here. Now that's an Armored V sleep pad from Climate. I have nothing negative to say about it other than it's big and it's bulky. I just want something smaller. It's taking up so much extra room in my day pack that it just upsets me. But the pad itself works really good. It's nice and comfortable. With the sleep system that I have here, especially right now with what I have been doing recently, it's nice to just be able to blow that up, throw down my gum blanket, set up my emergency tarp, pull out my sleeping bag, and I am set to go. So that's how I've been sleeping. I don't need a fire. I can do that just about anywhere in any of the woods that I operate in. get a good night's sleep, get up, pack it down, and I'm out of there. Now this thing does fit down inside that hang bag I showed you, so I really don't have to carry that around all the time, and I don't carry that around. I just finished up our advanced survival class and I stuck it in the bag because I was too lazy to try to stick it in that hang bag. But I've got some other inflatable mats that have been way more packable that I'm playing around with. I had that in there. I feel like that was the demise of this whole gear loadout. Again, I really like the pad. Enough with the pad, let's go on to it. In this front compartment, no specific order at all. I have one of our signal flags in here. I can utilize this for a ton of different purposes at camp. Notepad, compass with pacing beads. A lighter with an Exotac case on it, some fire starters, trusty old ferro rod, pencil with skulls. I mean, if you don't have a cool pencil, well, just go home. And then one of our utility blades. In the main compartment itself, I have some rain gear just tucked away in here. Water bottle, multi-tool, headlamp, and a handheld flashlight. And then lastly, I have a zippered bag that has a bunch of different stuff in it we're gonna show you right now. In my cute little small bag, I have a bunch of different cordage. Yuko fork and spoon, sharpening stone, matches, flint, steel, and char cloth, an awl, a gimlet to drill holes, a rip spool, and that's what's in my bag this time of the year if I go out. Again, that bottom bag on off. So it's a very modular system in that sense, but that day pack just stays as is. So if I'm gonna film, again, like I said, YouTube, or I'm just going out for the day to do some stuff, I grab that bag and I am super happy with it. Now, a couple commonly asked questions about gear every time that I show it. What about a first aid kit? So if you ever took a wilderness first aid class, you know that there's a lot of components that you normally carry with you outside of traditional first aid gear that is gonna get you by until you can receive medical help. So that's the approach that I really take. As far as band-aids or anything like that, I'll just use some duct tape and some cloth. That just doesn't bother me all that much. When we are classes, all the instructors carry tourniquets, and we have our big first aid kit that is there that has traditional first aid supplies in it. What about extra clothes? I honestly don't change my clothes out all that much when I am out in the field. I'll usually just keep the same thing on. What I do always like to take if I'm gonna be there an extended amount of time is an extra pair of underwear and an extra pair of socks. That stuff would just go in that hang bag underneath, and I'd forget about it till I need it. What about food? Food can be tricky because it depends if you are going out to truly rough it, or do you want to go out and really have a good time and you're out there to eat. What about a knife, axe, or saw? I didn't include a knife or an axe or a saw in this video. I always have my knife on my hip. I have a pocket knife inside my pocket, and then I normally just carry my axe along with me. I like carrying that with me. What about hygiene items? The only hygiene items I normally carry, which I do apologize I didn't have in here, was a toothbrush and toothpaste. I normally jam that in with my sleep equipment, but because I just got home yesterday, I did pull that stuff out. I was just about out of toothpaste, and it was time to just get a new toothbrush. So I stripped that stuff out last night, and I didn't put new stuff in yet. Sorry. Why do you have such awesome gear? Because I have awesome gear, what can I say? How do we take one of these awesome classes? You can take one of these classes by going to coalcrackerbushcraft.com, clicking on our courses, and then you can review all the courses. We have some awesome stuff coming up for 2020. Now, all kidding aside, that is my honest loadout. That's what I have been carrying, specifically that day pack for a while. That hang bag that I keep talking about, I really have found like, I love that thing. And I started using that more recently, so I'll keep you up to date with that, how that goes, but I think that's a pretty good system overall. So I hope this gives everybody out there a good idea of what I carry, and maybe some stuff that you want to adjust or that you think maybe you should carry in the future during your outings. Because let's face it, for how much we're in the woods, we probably do just as much at home playing with our gear, reorganizing our gear, and looking at gear than we actually get to spend outside. But that's okay, that's all part of it, and it's so much fun. I love the gear, and that's why I love to show it to everybody. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. If you have any rude comments, don't leave them in the comments below, or leave them in the comments below and we'll just delete you. And until the next video, stay in the woods and get your gear packed up right, and check us out at coalcrackerbushcraft.com.